Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for coming today. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Walter. I'm sorry. No, you so welcome. As the mayor. Supervisor Moore.
Present.
Councilwoman McNamara.
Present.
Councilman Iacili.
Present.
Councilman Pell.
Present.
Councilman Scavone.
Present.
Thank you. I move to accept and approve the minutes from the regular town board meeting of May 28, 2024, 6 p.m.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, would you please read the communications?
The following communications have been received in the office of the town clerk. We have received public notices from the office of the New York State Comptroller for notice of training webinars for local officials. Suffolk County Department of Economic Development and Planning, a notice of 2024 agricultural district inclusion presentations to the Suffolk County Legislature. Village of Quogue Planning Board public hearing notices for 8 Mid Hampton and the Sealy Senior Family Irrevocable Trust. New York State liquor license, 30-day advance notice to local municipalities from the listed applicants, and annual statement of financial disclosure filings from the listed individuals. We received emails, letters, and petitions regarding the following topics. The Best Steering Committee meeting of May 22nd, 2024. That is for the battery energy storage system. Change of zone application for Liberty Gardens in Southampton, County Road 39 traffic concerns, HBBA and town meeting with Alliance, North Road Hampton Bays best facility, proposed community park at 178 Old Country Road in Spionk, Resolution 2024-731, rules of conduct for advisory committee members, traffic restrictions on Diamond Court and Mill Farm Lane, Watermill, traffic trade parade on roads in Hampton Bays, and traffic trade parade on Henry Road in Southampton. Petition in opposition to the rezoning of 130 County Road 39 in Southampton. Bid and request for proposals were received on May 23rd for RFP for professional, architectural, and engineering design services for West Hampton Beach Activity Center for Municipal Works. On June 5th, for bid for the mobile concession for Red Creek Park for the Parks Department. The following report was filed from the Town Comptroller for the May 2024 monthly financial reports and the CPF financial statements with independent auditors report for the year ending December 31st, 2023. And that concludes the communications for this meeting's agenda.
Thank you, Cindy. I've got 7 walk-on resolutions. I'll read the first 6 and discuss them separately so we can vote as to whether we have a supermajority to get them onto the agenda. Town Board Resolution ID number 46498 to authorize the town attorney to accept a settlement from State Farm Insurance Company for damage to town highway department vehicle. Town Board Resolution ID number 46620 to authorize the supervisor and or town attorney to sign a release and supporting documentation from McNeil and Company for repairs done to a 2022 Ford Police Interceptor. Town Board Resolution ID number 46683 to appoint John Ribbon to the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Sunday, I'd like to co-sponsor number 3 and number 4.
Got
Excuse me, Supervisor.
it.
Thank you.
Town Board Resolution ID number 46687 to authorize the supervisor to sign a contract with L.K. McLean Associates, Engineering and Surveying, DPC, to provide professional services for Riverside Maritime Park accessible kayak launch and fishing pier in Riverside. Town Board Resolution ID number 46705 for the warrant. And this one is Councilwoman McNamara.
46706, resolution extending all home improvement contractor licenses to August 1st, 2024.
I move to add these items to the agenda.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the 7th walk-on is Town Board Resolution ID number 46708 to adopt the secret findings in connection with the zone change application entitled Liberty Gardens, formerly known as Concern for Independent Living, Southampton, and to deny the zone change.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Discussion
Um,
before we vote?
This is just to add it to the agenda.
Sure, right. Well, before we vote, I think it's, considering that we just received the finding statement about an hour ago, I'd like to review it before we put it on the agenda. And I think something of this magnitude really should be placed on the agenda for the public to come and speak during public portion.
I will say,
Well, it's not ideal to have provided these just this morning. We have had discussion for, several meetings, and although I would have preferred to, it was not my intention to wait till today, it's somewhat out of my control, but I would prefer to move forward today.
I would just like to add that this board is on this time constraint because Councilman Scavone and the former board voted to have a special meeting 3 days after Christmas and 3 days before the majority of that board was leaving office. That put us on this time constraint and our time clock from the applicant that ran out on Sunday. So
And-
we're kind of under a time constraint here.
Right, we did receive an extension, but that's expired, and I don't believe the board wanted to request an additional extension, so.
But we
But
could if we
that being
wanted,
said-
and an extra 2 weeks wouldn't be out of the question. But I understand what you're saying. But for those reasons, I can't vote in favor of walking home.
Understood.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you
Oh,
make a
we did vote.
make a
No.
motion?
No, we haven't voted yet.
We
I
kind of.
So
I
he
second.
moved,
Realize
but
what
not,
your
you're
vote
not
is going to
seconding.
be.
I second. I second it.
To put it on the agenda.
Yes.
You need
But
to
there's an
vote because you
intervening
did it
motion.
separately from the other first 6. So
Yes.
you just need to vote to put it on.
But was there an intervening motion? That was my question, to table it. No.
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 Okay,
No.
all right. Then all in favor of adding the resolution to the agenda?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay.
All right, Madam Clerk, would you please read the notice for the first public hearing?
Certainly. Public hearing number 1, in connection with the acceptance of a conservation easement regarding the map of Ocean View Park, map number 105, section 4. I don't know what the NS is. Is that north-south? North side, okay, of Terrace Avenue. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Supervisor, members of the board. This is a hearing for you to consider a 50-foot wide conservation easement in connection with the map of Ocean View Park, map number 105, section 4, on the north side of Terrace Avenue in the hamlet of Watermill. And this is the map over here, and the green is in fact a 50-foot wide conservation easement. The request to accept the conservation easement is as a result of the planning board approval given to the applicant for said property, which lies within an old filed map, and which area constitute an area of natural scenic beauty, the openness of which enhances the present and potential value of surrounding properties and enhances the conservation of natural and scenic resources and constitutes a significant public benefit. If the board has any questions, Planner Anthony Trezza, who has worked on this, is here to answer anything.
Does the board have any questions at this point, Christine?
You said this was recommended by the planning board?
Yes.
When was that determination made approximately?
Actually, it happened in two parts. One goes back to 1910, then
wow.
1983, and the most recently in 2023.
Thank you.
I don't have any cards from anyone in the audience. Peter, is there anyone on Zoom that wishes to be heard?
No one on Zoom.
Okay, then I move to close the public hearing.
If it pleases the board, also there's a resolution on for adoption later in the packet.
Thank
Second.
you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, would you please read the notice for the public hearing number 2?
Public hearing number 2 on the acquisition of 38 and 48 Old Country Road in the hamlet of East Quogue and amend the CPF management and stewardship plan to include the property.
Good afternoon, Supervisor, Town Council members, Jackie Fenlon with Manager for CPF Department. How are you?
Terrific.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. We are here today, so I just wanted to point out that the property that's public hearing number 2 is actually this one right here. So this is 38 and 48 Old Country Road. So this is owned by Coastal Vision LLC in the hamlet of East Quogue. This is 9.4 acres combined, but also by doing so, we will also be preserving the private road in between the two properties. That will no longer be needed for access. So at this point, Coastal Vision LLC has expressed interest in selling the properties for $4,250,000. This is directly adjacent and south of the Central Pine Barrens. So we are nominating this in the project plan to be entered under that category, the Central Pine Barrens Critical Resource Target Area. So the railroad tracks just to the north are actually the jurisdictional boundary of the Central Pine Barrens as well as the aquifer protection. But obviously this being located directly to the south would accomplish those same goals of preserving Central Pine Barrens, pine oak forest, as well as the watershed and aquifer recharge in this area. And I did want to mention, it just happens that both of these are in East Quogue today, but they are both within the Weesa Creek watershed. So we'll be preserving that.
So it's an environmentally sensitive area that we'd like to protect.
Correct, yes.
I just wanted to point out that that's actually, there's 2 public hearings, this one for these 2 properties and the next one is for the other property. And actually you could put these maps kind of together. And there's 33 acres to the south of these properties that go all the way to Montauk Highway that would have been preserved as part of the Hills PDD, but it's now slated for development. So preserving these pieces around it are now even more important than it was prior.
Correct. Actually, if you, what Cindy's mentioning, if you were literally going to put this north on top, these properties are just to the north. This property right here is actually this bottom corner right here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so this is valuable for watershed protection, aquifer recharge, Central Pine Barrens preservation. It'll also, personally, I think it'll also help preserve the beautiful vista of this road. Right now, we have woodlands on either side. It's just kind of a nice passive area of the road, so we'll be preserving that community character as well.
And what is the current zoning?
The current zoning on this, actually, I don't have it in front of me. I believe it's R20, though. Sorry, I actually lost my little package today. I was looking for it, but I believe it's R20. Yeah. So these were actually under consideration for development. So I think it was, roughly like 9 or 10 lots that could be. Yeah. So as of this, will be they won't be moving forward with the planning board application for the subdivision as well.
Thank you, Jackie. I don't have any cards on this for speakers in the audience, but Peter, is there anyone on Zoom that wishes to be heard?
Yes, there's one.
Thank you.
Tommy John, it is R20.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
One second, they're still. These declines to be voted to a panelist the second time, so I'm guessing that I did a mistake. Otherwise, no one else signs it.
He said it's mistaken.
It might have been a mistake.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Peter. Then, if the board doesn't have any other questions for Jackie, I move to close the public hearing.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Madam Clerk, would you please read the notice for the third and final public hearing?
Public hearing number 3 on the acquisition of 450 Montauk Highway in the hamlet of East Quogue and amend the Community Preservation Stewardship Plan to include the property.
Good afternoon again, Jacqueline Fenlon with Community Preservation, CPF Manager. This property is located at 450 Montauk Highway, so this is just to the south of the previous public hearing, number 2. This is currently owned by David B. Phillips and is 2.1 acres, located also in East Quogue. Presently, David B. Phillips has expressed interest in selling the property for $675,000. So this property is more encumbered with wetlands. So this is a property that's designated in the Community Preservation Plan under Open Space Greenbelt Target Area of Weesa Creek. So this is just to the south, but this is impacted by freshwater wetlands, and you can see how close it is to the creek. So if you are familiar, this is also located across the street from the Stone Creek Inn, just to give you a rationale of where this is. But we are recommending that it also be included in the stewardship plan as well as a result of this public hearing so that we can perform stewardship activities on the site. And this is a R40 zoning.
And what kind of activities are you referring to?
It's just so we can fence it, clean it up, sometimes it might need, tree maintenance, et cetera. So by adding it to the stewardship plan, we're then allowing it to be utilized, funding can be utilized in upcoming years for stewardship. So
But it was already on the management plan?
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Mhm.
good.
Yep. So this is in the open space greenbelt target area of Weesa Creek. Yep. Yeah. So this is a nice hardwood swamp. This is an area where it could have had a house, but we'll be preventing
It's
said
also
sand.
not a very good corner to have a house on.
Yes, yeah. It'll also be good for traffic calming in this area to reduce the curb cuts here.
Nice.
So there is an existing curb cut, as you can see on the aerial. But this would minimize that traffic conflict as there will no longer be ability for a house to be built here.
All right, well, I don't have any cards for this public hearing, but Peter, is there anyone on Zoom who'd like to be heard?
No one on Zoom.
Okay, does the board have any questions for Jackie?
Thank you.
You're
All
welcome.
right, then I move to close this public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you very much.
All right, that brings us to the public portion, and that we do have cards for. The first one is William Fox. Hi.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Is this on? Yeah. I'm William Fox, 40 Mill Farm Lane. Thank you for everything you all do. My neighbors and I and my family really appreciate it. As you know, we have a lot of traffic on our streets. Cars, trucks. They divert from 39 to go to Seven Ponds, and then they divert off Seven Ponds to go on our street just to jump back on Seven Ponds. So it's a cut of a cut, and our streets are really only 100, 200 yards longer than what they're trying to avoid. And the only way to get back ahead
Oh,
is to race.
Christine's phone.
excuse me. Excuse
It's
us.
Christine's phone.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Please continue.
So it actually is very dangerous. And it's every morning. It starts about 5:30 actually, and the cars and the trucks race through. It's the only way for them to jump the line to get to the stop signs to go fast. So yeah, the volume's a problem, but the speed is really the issue because it's dangerous. I used to take strolls with my wife in the morning. Can't do that. My grandchildren come and visit. They can't go on a bicycle. It's really dangerous, and some of them, when you go fast on our street, you can't see the end of the street. There's a few curves in the street, so you actually don't have the visibility. And we're a neighborhood, so you have early morning landscapers start to show up and other things. It can actually be a problem, and it's an accident waiting to happen. You don't want anybody to get hurt. We appreciate this resolution that you put forward. I think it's a really good step, and I want to thank you for all that. There are two turns to get through this. You go onto Flying Point, there's no stop sign at Flying Point, and Diamond. So what happens is the cars just roll right in as fast as they can. Then they get to Diamond and Mill Farm. They take another fast turn, no stop sign. So that's also part of the danger. And Diamond Court has a cul-de-sac at the end, and you should see how many cars miss the turn. That's how fast they're going. So they'll just go into the cul-de-sac and then they'll race around that because they're worried they're not going to make the line again. It's a problem. So thank you. I really appreciate what you're doing. And I hope you will all vote for this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you for
Mr.
coming.
Fox. Next is Chris LaGuardia.
I'm actually on a different one. I wrote in the wrong resolution.
Well, it's any,
it's
it's
Public
any,
portion.
it's public portion, so you can speak on any topic.
Oh, any topic, okay. Well, I just brought myself here to introduce myself because I'm on the resolution for the Watermill Park contract. So you can put a face to it,
Oh,
not just
yeah.
a piece of paper. This is the park we designed along with Steve Abramson and Tim Marin. And we did the first part of it pro bono for the town to help Jackie realize the potential. So the town purchased the land. We did a contract with the town for the design of the park, held a bunch of community engagement programs. They were all in favor. They gave us good feedback. So now we're into the second stage, and we'd like to build the park. So we need to do a set of contract drawings that the town can send out to bid and this and that. So hopefully you'll approve it. You guys like to add anything?
Thank you.
Steve's never short.
Would you like to go out of, we could take out of order?
You did, Steve.
Steve,
Thanks
yeah.
for coming in.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah.
I understand your
Thank you.
firm is helping out with the landscaping for the windmill in West Hampton Beach. I wanted to thank you for
Yeah.
your,
That's also pro bono.
volunteerism there. Yes.
No problem.
And one of your colleagues was actually helping us with the East Quogue Village Green.
Yeah. that's
Pro bono.
One of my early projects from 9 years ago. Renovation.
Hi, Steve Abramson from Watermill. It's been 3.5 years since Tim and I brought to the last group of the town board for this concept for this park. This is a park for the town itself. It's not a park for Watermill. Watermill has plenty of parks. It will be in Watermill. The Watermill people will enjoy it, but it is a park that will be enjoyed by all of the residents of this town as they travel to the east, because it is a 1/4 of a mile adjacent to the highway, and it will be a picturesque entry to the grand east end of the town. Importantly, the Watermill Park District, our tax line, takes care of the maintenance of many things that are used by the public in this town. We have the ball fields at the base of Deerfield Road and the highway. We have the Village Green, and it will now have this area too, which the residents of Watermill will maintain for all of the residents of the town to use. And those residents will be able to use that Mill Creek frontage for fishing, for perhaps swimming too, but certainly kayaking, and they can actually access into Mecox Bay underneath the highway if they're adventurous to do so and enjoy that too. So we're happy that at last that the town is really taking movement on this and pushing this forward. This will be a signature thing for the town, and we're glad that you're taking action to move it forward.
Hey, Steve, could you just tell the people who are watching us exactly where this is?
Exactly what,
Where this is proposed,
where this is?
The location.
the location?
Yeah, well, it's just to the east of Head of Pond Road, where that intersects with the highway. At that portion, there is a triangular piece that's open now that's called currently Settlers Field, in which Tim played baseball with Carl Yastrzemski way back when. So that's wide open, that area, and maintained. And beyond it, that triangle is expanding then out into this waterway, which, so you have Head Pond Road here, essentially. You've got Settlers Field Triangle. You've got this additional land which the town has acquired. This will also be about 1,000 foot frontage on the water for people to use. And this is a 1/4 of a mile right adjacent to the highway, which, given really good design by the LaGuardia Design Group, you're going to be able to see through to this park and enjoy that vista on the way east, hopefully not in too much traffic.
It's going to be lovely. And I thank you for coming in to meet with me, and I'm glad that the Deputy Supervisor, Frank Sapone, was able to follow up and get to the bottom of the delay on the internal issue here. And so we're ready to move forward, and we've got a resolution on for tonight.
Thank you. It's going to be good to see it take place, and hopefully it will be a usable park by the summer next. That would be should really be easy to do. Certainly from a development standpoint, should be easy to do if we can break through all of the red tape and push it.
Thank
That's
you
a good
both.
goal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, my only comment is that Steve and I are both in our early 80s, I think. But I know that we'd both love to see some traction on this before we don't realize that we've gotten traction. But it's a great parcel of property. It's just, it blends itself in with the village green on the, as you go east, blends itself in with the scenic easement that the village, Villa Maria created when they sold the villa. There's a 300-foot scenic easement along the villa side of the waterfront there, and I just think that this will rival almost any entry point to any community on the east end. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah,
Thank you.
we're back on track, and we're going to make it happen. Perry Eisman.
Good afternoon. My name is Perry Eisman. I live on Mill Farm Lane. I've been there for 18 years now, and I can personally attest to the fact that the traffic situation on our street has become untenable. It used to be a nice, quiet street in the morning. I used to be able to sit outside on my front patio and have a cup of coffee and just enjoy the nice, quiet morning. That is no longer possible. When my grandchildren come and visit, as Bill mentioned, they can't go out and ride their bikes or their scooters on the street any longer. And we just need to have something done about it. Extending the hours on the sign that prevents the turn from Flying Point onto Diamond Court, in my opinion, is just the first step. As it stands right now, there is a sign that prevents the turn from 6 to 8 in the morning. People don't pay any attention to it. So having the hours extended, yes, that's the first step, and I applaud doing anything to alleviate the situation, but that's not the only step. It needs to be enforced as well. So I hope that not only do we approve this resolution, but we look forward to getting some sort of future permanent solution to the traffic situation on the street. Thank you.
Thank you. Simon Canavan.
Hello, I'm Simon Canavan. I'm a resident of Noyak, and I'm here to speak in favour of Councilmember Iacili's resolution number 2024-763. As a resident in Noyak, I am thankful that there is a permanent no left turn onto Noyak Road from Bay Avenue. There are many other issues with this intersection, but that is for another time. Without this, the traffic flow would be disastrous. The extension of 2 hours in Watermill will help the flow tremendously. Councilmember Iacili ran to improve the traffic situation, and he's making progress. He engaged with local members of the community and listened to what they had to say. After hearing this, within 24 hours, there was speed monitoring systems installed, as well as amber blinking lights put up around the neighbourhood. I would like to commend Councilmember Iacili for being proactive and working with the Highway Department to install these blinking lights and in the various locations, as again, this has helped with the traffic flow. This resolution makes sense. As I have personally been caught up in the congestion, let's make it happen to improve the lives of the locals.
Thank you, Mr. Canavan.
Thank you.
Anne, I can't make out your last name. Starts with an L. Oh, hi. Yes, Lynch. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Moore and members of the board. I was present here in October 2022 for the initial meeting regarding Liberty Gardens, and I subsequently wrote a letter, 2022, 2023, and 2024, which each of you has received. I am concerned not only about traffic, not only about sanitation, not only about a possibility of going through Hillcrest Avenue, but in talking to people in the village who thought because they signed a petition maybe a year or so ago, then well, they already made their voices heard. So there are many, many people who are hoping that you will say no, even though it's difficult for you to say no to Liberty Gardens and rethink the issue. There are many other alternatives that are present. Be creative and do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Lynch. Vincent Trantolo.
Hello, Vincent Trantolo. I'm a resident of 33 Mill Farm Lane. I'm very much a local in this community because I know that's part of the issue that's going on with this street. I coach the Little League. I coach the football team. You name it, I coach it. I have 2 kids, 11 and 13. They can no longer ride their bikes in this street, especially in the morning times. We don't allow them to go. They're prisoners after school in the mornings once the schools end this summer. I walk my dog there every morning after I drop my kids off at school. I've been flipped off by construction workers. I've had cars swerve at me. It's very, very dangerous, and it's become contentious. And it's the only way that the cars can get by there. When I come out of our area, I make the left, they let me out. When I come back, I actually drive all the way around. I don't actually make that right. So I'm trying to abide by that. And if you extend it till 10, would be great. And if you want to put a speed monitor on my property, I'd be more than happy to have that happen. But please do consider this in extending those hours. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark Jacobson.
Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Mark Jacobson. I'm a resident of 11 Mill Farm Lane. I too.
I'm sorry,
Just
could
wait
you
until
hold on
we-
just 1 second. Could someone get their cell phone, please?
Is that the soundtrack you
Thank
wanted?
you.
That was a lovely soundtrack.
We'll start your clock over.
Mark Jacobson, 11 Mill Farm Lane. This is my home. This is my town. I love being here. The traffic is unbelievable. And as my other neighbors were saying, it starts early in the morning. They don't follow these signs. It amazes me. I'll get up at 6 o'clock, look at my window, it goes zoom. And it's like they're racing through the street. They're not obeying the speed limits. And it's dangerous. They cut the corner between Diamond Court onto Mill Farm. I've almost been hit twice. And as Bill was saying, people flip you off. I mean, bad behavior kind of amuses me, but I'm worried someone's going to get killed. I mean, they race through. There are a lot of blind turns on Diamond Court as well as Mill Farm. And it's like they're not going 30 or 25. They're going 50 or 60. And the backup is crazy. And if any of you would like to come over one morning for breakfast and sit on my porch, you can witness this because it's unbelievable. I mean, I'm probably 2/3 in and trying to get out of the driveway in the morning. My driveway's blocked and they get annoyed if I want to cut in front of them. But it's really, people walk their dogs, there are kids, people ride their bicycles. It's really dangerous and someone is going to get killed. So it's very serious. So I hope you guys will consider extending the time. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Tom Lawless.
My name is Tom Lawless, 11 Mill Farm Lane. Thank you very much for having me. I would just like to echo what's been said about the traffic on Mill Farm. I am a runner. I am a biker. I've almost been hit 3 times. it's just unbelievable how the traffic has just exponentially changed. And it was said earlier, they're just trying to cut 7 ponds and get back on 7 ponds. But Mill Farm has 3 curves, and they come around those curves, and once you have landscape trucks on them, they can't see, and someone is going to get hurt. They go too fast, too many cars, and it's a problem. So please entertain the change in signs. That would be a first step, but it's not going to solve the problem completely. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lallis. Clayman Copper? Oh.
Clement Kneff, thank you. Number 2 Diamond Cord. Support of extending the sign and the first step of progress resolving the traffic issue. 2 sons, 2 and 6. My wife almost got hit within the first curve. RN, she was pulling out, and it was a very close call. So please consider extending on the hours.
Thank you. Thank you for coming in. Lucas? Cornelius?
Hi, everyone. I'd like to first share some petitions.
Right over here.
Clerk. Send it to the clerk first.
I'll take care of the paperwork. You can go.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lucas Vomilas from 127 Straight Path. That's in North Sea. I've just handed to the clerk about 550 petitions regarding preventing Liberty Gardens. About 123 of these petitions were online, and the remainder, well, a couple of them are letters that are signed by people that I didn't collect from, but the remainder, about 400 or so petitions I collected myself, and some were collected by a friend in Southampton Village, in Bridgehampton Commons, basically all around Southampton town, but primarily here in the village. And we collected these petitions in about, I want to say maximum 45 hours, 40 hours of work, just walking up and down the streets, through the parking lots, saying, hi, excuse me, have you heard about Liberty Gardens, or are you interested in stopping this construction on the highway? And the overwhelming majority of people told me either, no, I haven't heard about Liberty Gardens, or yes, I would like to stop. So what I'm presenting to you is the fact that in a very small amount of time, I've gotten hundreds of petitions that are from people that either work here, healthcare workers, residents, landscapers, teachers, all sorts of people from all sorts of parts of the town. This isn't just one small vocal minority of people that are against Liberty Gardens, right? At the very least, this proves that in a small amount of time, I've shown a large amount of people are against this. So I just want to dispel any myth that it's a vocal minority, because frankly, most people haven't heard of this issue, and I think the people that have are against it. And that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for all the hard work. Yeah.
Francis Genovese.
I just have a very short presentation for the board. I hope that the previous speaker dispelled the idea that it's a small but vocal minority of people who are against Liberty Gardens. It's overwhelming, and I think that over 5 years, to the previous board and this board, we've made a strong case on every single issue about this.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but could you please just state your name for the
My
clerk?
name is Frances Genovese. I live on Bishop's Lane.
Thank you.
In the village.
Thank you.
I have my final bit of paperwork on Liberty Gardens, I hope. And this is a report which I handed in to the town clerk from the police department showing that on a small swatch of County Road 39 from the former Lobster Inn to the turnoff at Flying Point Road, in 2023, there were 409 accidents, and to date in 2024, there have been 97. So that's a total of 606 accidents over that period of time. So I hope that you will consider this. You have that information in front of you, all of the other information, and I hope that this is the last time that a developer can present a project in this manner. And we ask you to be alert to the fact that the pool, which is another controversial application coming down the pike, funded by the town in the CPF, we will see you again for that, but this is my final word, and I hope that it's enough. 606 accidents on that little tiny stretch of road. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brett Rogoff?
Hi, Brett Rogoff. I live at I own 8 Mill Farm Lane with my wife Heather, who's here. We have an 8-year-old son, Sawyer, and a 12-year-old daughter, Campbell. And I echo everything that our neighbors have said. It's if you've ever been on Diamond Court or Mill Farm Lane early in the morning, I welcome you to come out. It's not safe. I'm here. I'm a little nervous, forgive me, but I'm here because we just want to make sure that we're protecting your neighbors. And I don't envy the roles that you all have. This is, to me, not about politics. This is about ensuring public safety. And God forbid we're ever in a situation, I hope to God we never get into a situation where we're all having to call each other and say, oh my God, there's been an accident. So please help us prevent that. It's scary. We have many accolade or anecdotes we could share, but the one, and this is literally this morning, my son and I were playing baseball in the yard before, took him to camp, and he hit the ball actually over the trees. And I said, Sawyer, we can't run out there, we can't. And just as I said it, he was about to run, there was a car speeding by. And he knows that he can't do it, and that's great. But the fact that he can't do it in this beautiful neighborhood, and there's so many other neighborhoods too that we should talk about protecting, but at the end of the day, this is the one right now where there's an existing restriction, and to extend it by 2 hours at a minimum, we're all hopeful that will do something, and maybe there are other things down the road, but please help us make sure that there are no accidents. That's the only thing I'm going to say. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Peter, is there anyone on Zoom that wishes to speak at the public portion? Okay. What? How many?
2. 4.
All right. Please bring them on.
Yes.
Yes, thank
My name is Janet Brockle. I'm a resident of 33 Mill Farm Lane, and I'm echoing the stories of many of my neighbors that have talked about the danger that is has befallen our street. I want to also recognize that in addition to danger, there are also very nasty comments that I've experienced, sexist comments from drivers driving by at 60 miles an hour in the middle of the morning when I'm trying to take my son to school. And if the council doesn't understand from all the people that you've heard from, parents who cannot even play in their yards with their children, if that doesn't get you, then maybe we should do an analysis of what the liability would be if we do not take action and ensure that that street is safe, because clearly it is not. I have lived on this street for 12 years. In the last 8 years, and in the last 2 in particular, it has become completely unsafe. I have almost been hit twice. My dog has been almost hit twice, and I have been called the most vulgar names I've ever experienced, and I'm a lawyer. So I really urge the council. This is not a situation where this is just an inconvenience. This is dangerous, and it puts everyone in danger. And it, as I will say, I think we need to think about liability now that we know that this issue is real and could be attended to. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Put a sign on it and increase the liability.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I know.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. We can't see you, but we can hear you.
Let me try and fix
Oh,
that
there you
for
are.
you.
Thank you.
Here we go, sorry about that. Hello, members of the town board, thank you for allowing me to be heard. My name is Andrew Root, I'm a Mill Farm resident, and I'm here to ask for your vote on the resolution before you, increasing the turn restriction off of Flying Point onto Diamond Court. I think we've all heard the issues facing the neighborhood, and I really want to appreciate the board and Councilman Iselli for this traffic mitigation task force that you guys have started and taken a look at making some real changes town-wide. And I think it's really important to note a couple things here. Both Police Chief Kiernan and Highway Superintendent McCardle are both supportive of this measure. They recognize the untenable situation that we are faced with. And that's why we're here asking you please to support this resolution, which is not a closure of the road by any means. We've heard that bandied about. This is simply an extension of a no-turn sign that previous boards recognized the need for. That is not sufficient given the changing dynamic of Google and Waze directing drivers through the neighborhood and subjecting our community to really a very dangerous situation that you've heard from quite a few other people. I think there's no other neighborhood adversely affected by this restriction being increased. There's no other neighborhood that is going to suffer as a result of this. And I think some of the commentary around, well, other neighborhoods have problems too, and we're not going to make a change to this one, or just fly in the face of logic. Taking the street private is not something that we care to do. We're all Southampton town taxpayers. We're looking to you, our elected representatives, to try and come up with solutions to help us. That's what you guys are there. I know that's what you guys want to do. And this is, I think, a small step for hopefully making this go away without really doing anything untoward to anyone else, and simply making drivers do what they should do, which is stay on the main roads. And you know, this is not a secondary road. This is a residential community. We understand traffic is an issue everywhere, but we really want to ask you guys to go ahead and give us this relief to a situation that just it doesn't work anymore, and you are would really make a huge impact on our lives by voting for this. So thank you for hearing me. Thank you for hearing our neighbor, and thank you for considering making changes. Because doing nothing is the easy thing, I guess, but making changes that may be a difference or a way of doing things differently
is something that I think you guys are fully capable of and have shown tremendous ability to do so far with this current town board, and I'm really encouraged and look forward to working with you guys to make our town for everyone a better place and a safer place for all. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Oh.
Hi, my name is Sal Galatioto. My family and I live at 19 Mill Farm Lane. I don't want to continue to reiterate what everyone has said. It is a major safety issue. This is not just a traffic problem. People zoom down the road. The volume of cars is incredible. I mean, it's hard to describe if you haven't seen it. And in fact, I think it may be an internet issue because Google and Waze probably push people to take Mill Farm, and they ignore the sign. There's no enforcement. There's no penalty for what they're doing. So please, before someone is really injured, I'm asking you, and this is the first time I've ever addressed a public meeting, that you do something to help us, because something bad is going to happen if it's left the way it is. And I want to thank you for the work you do. I know it can't be easy. So you have a great day, and thank you for this.
Thank you.
Anybody else, Kevin? Peter. That's Peter. I should have known he wasn't standing in the doorway with you.
Hello.
Peter, we don't hear anything.
Never see anything. There she is.
You're muted.
Thank you. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, hi. My name is Catherine Littlefield. I live at 22 Mill Farm Lane. And of course, you have heard the predicament that we have been in for several years. And you may know how much we have tried to help ourselves. We've met with Mr. McCardle, we've met with Tom. We have really explored so many different options for the gate, with speed bumps, only to be told none of these are viable. We are in a very, very difficult, we support our tradesmen. We know everyone has to go to work. We use our tradesmen. I have a tradesman that went to my friend's house at 5:30 in the morning to do her kitchen to avoid the mess, the trade parade. And then I had a contractor come to my house at 10:30 in the morning so that he could get to go to work and not be in the predicament. But we also explored, we are a self-help group. We are maybe 50, 60 strong. I've explored making this a private community. I went through an agency that gave us all the specifics of it. But when speaking to Mr. McCardle, he informed me that we have a sinkhole on Mill Farm Lane in the 20s around that area. There were like 4 barrels. And there's a dispute between the town board and the public service company over who is responsible for that sinkhole. So even though that's another problem, and that if we did make this a private community. We would have to pay for that, and that's pretty much about $250,000 to fix, according to Mr. McCarty. So it really, for the price of a sign, and for some cooperation on your part, to enhance something that has already been voted on and exists, I ask you with all of my, I thank you for your support, and I would really like you to consider that we have done everything we could, except double park on the streets at night to block traffic. We're not interested in doing anything like that, but we are at our wits' ends. We cannot get out of our driveways, we can't walk our dogs, people can't walk with their children. We really, really need your help. And we've been waiting a very long time. It's been discussed last year, we're bringing it up again. We need your help. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We do have one.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Ali Homayunfar, 3 Diamond Court. It is good to see you again. I was present at the first meeting of this group speaking about our traffic problem. I will not rehash what my neighbors so eloquently and so passionately expressed. We really have a big problem. A few days ago, because of a water leak, the supervisor of the water authority was on Diamond Court looking at what needed to be done. I was there, and he looked at me and he said, "How can you guys live here because of the traffic?" He was afraid to cross the street. Cars were zooming by so fast. I implore you to vote yes for the resolution of Councilman Ilyasiri. And I do that because someone will get hurt. Someone could die. Unfortunately, people do not respect the rules. Some people, for their own self-interest, which is getting to work or school or faster. That is the reality of our life. That is the reality of the world we live in. Someone will get hurt, and I implore you, by voting yes for this resolution, minimize that risk. We're all very appreciative for the work that you do. As everyone said, we know it's not easy, and that is why we are here and you're sitting at that desk. But we implore you, please make this happen. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
Well, that concludes the public portion of the meeting. Let's move on to the resolutions. Of course.
It's not a public hearing.
Oh, please proceed.
Charlie McCardle, Highway Superintendent. I wasn't invited to the Mill Farm block party, but I've
You
been on
didn't
the
go
street.
for breakfast?
Been on the street. Typically, as a highway superintendent, you don't support closing roads at any time. But I mentioned last time I was here that you have to look at each one individually. And I do support this, and again, it's just a few hours added to what's already in existence.
It's not actually closing the road, it's just
Just
preventing the turn.
Right. You can't enter the road from the south. Okay. So the thing that's interesting is that everything you heard on the Zoom and with the gentlemen and the women that are here, you hear that, we hear that from every single resident that has a problem on this street. Those verbatim, exactly those statements almost hit bicycle, every single thing, every one of us has heard, from east to the west. So it is hard to stand up here and say we should make a restriction when the rest of the township, a lot of them have similar, not identical, but similar arguments. So I want the people to know that one of the things we looked at, and actually CPF is kind of guiding us on this, I don't know if it's gonna ever pan out, is a traffic circle at 7 Ponds Road. People cut through your street because it's backed up at the stop sign. So if we can move the traffic at that stop sign with a traffic circle, it could eliminate the racing down your street. Let's face it, they race till they stop, then you can't get out of your driveway. So you made both arguments here. It's too fast and it's too slow. And every one of the residents have that. If it's clear, they're speeding to the next roadblock. So the woman that spoke last misunderstood what I meant. We do have an issue with the road where the gas company broke some wires and some pipes. We are in a little bit of a dispute over that until we can fix the road, but it is on the agenda. But again, I do support this, and I know that exact thing that everyone's saying, we've heard from 90% of the residents, and you should understand that. It's not isolated to Mill Farm Lane. It's town-wide, exactly what you're saying, every single morning and every single afternoon.
And Charlie, if I may, because we've been working together on this resolution, this community in particular is very, very appreciative of the highway department. The people that have contacted me via email, I wrote to them and I've explained to them what we're doing. And one individual has told me that they were so appreciative. They apparently got everybody coffee or bagels or something like that when they were there to help out in one of the mornings to ensure that the restriction was in place.
So, not to interrupt you, but some people mentioned it, and we could beat this to death.
Yeah.
There's not enough law enforcement to enforce the rules.
Yes.
And I just want to point out too that you
Councilwoman,
can't legally close the road down
Councilwoman,
if you're not working on it.
Councilwoman, I'm not done. If I may finish my comment.
Sure, go ahead.
I just wanted to explain that the community is very appreciative of the work that the highway department is doing. And they are also very appreciative of the work that law enforcement has been doing. I explained at the last public hearing that there are not enough police officers, that we have to be serious as a town board in the future budgetary cycle to hire more officers so we can get traffic control officers on the road to make sure that these laws are being enforced. You can't have a cop in every place at one time, but these laws are in place for a reason. In the potential of somebody actually not following that rule and regulation and there's an officer there, they're going to get ticketed because that is the law that is there. That's what's on the sign. So many people here mentioned this is not going to solve everything. I agree with you. It's not going to solve everything. We're still going to have some issues. This is one little step. And I'm hoping that with the partnership of the highway department and, by the way, the police department, Chief Kiernan has agreed that this is a reasonable solution. We're going to do the best we can, but this isn't over. We have to continue to look. And I'm really also happy to hear that the highway superintendent is working with CPF to think about a traffic circle, more long-term solutions that will be necessary to ensure the safety of the community. But I just wanted to say, Charlie, that I'm very appreciative of you, and I know that this community is also very appreciative of the work that you've been doing. Because when I call you, when any of us call you, you are always on it. And you and Mark, your whole team, I want to thank you for that.
Thank you. Cindy?
I would say I would absolutely say 100% you're always there when we call. I will say that through the legal department, the highway department can't barricade or shut down a road and do enforcement on road closures unless you're working on the road. So that is an issue, and that's why I've remained the position of a sign is just a sign, and unless it's enforced, and we do not have the enforcement capability at this point in time, it's just a sign. And it's a sign that a lot of people want in their neighborhood. So I have a whole prepared thing when we get to vote on this, but I won't take your time now. But
So I totally understand it, and the highway department has stepped out of their lane many times to help other agencies. But I would think the board should remember, you sit here as a board of police commissioners. You have the ability to direct the police chief where to staff his people or to increase the police department. So, the police department's at the same levels that it was 20 years ago. That's not acceptable.
No, and we've had this conversation where we need to
we do.
enforce weights and the whole.
Yep.
And as we embark on the budget cycle, starting next month, we're going to consider that.
Thanks. And again, I do support this resolution.
Thank you, Charlie.
Pardon me?
You have one person on Zoom.
All right. Thank you. Bring them on, please.
Francis.
While we're waiting, we may have.
Short video. Good afternoon. Are you all able to hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much. My name is Walter Dean, and I live on Pierpont Street in the Village. My family first went up to Southampton in 1969. I wanted to speak briefly about the Liberty Gardens proposal, which is situated where I believe, well, I found on the internet that there have been 122 accidents over a 3-year period. Liberty Gardens will not serve our local workforce. Of the 50 units, I believe only 25% are from veterans from across the country, some of whom may have a discharge that is less than honorable and have psychological or physical disabilities. I hope I'm stating that correctly. This is not what the developer had originally stated. Not one of the remaining apartments will be offered exclusively to anyone who is currently working in the village or nearby parts of the town. Not one village organization, to my knowledge, supports Liberty Gardens. We cannot handle a dense development that will bring up to 100 new residents requiring supportive care on a 5-acre property, which would only have access to the busiest intersection on the South Fork. At least I believe that to be the case. The traffic study that was submitted by the developer says the project would have no adverse effect on traffic, despite the sole entrance being on County Road 39. Left turns permitted across, I believe, 3 lanes of traffic with no traffic light. The project will make our current housing crisis worse by increasing property taxes for existing homeowners, many of us who are already struggling. Also, ethically, although the development will pay only limited taxes to the village, our village police, fire, ambulance, and other service members will have to respond to the many needs of its residents. We also do not have a sewage system to support this development, nor do we have any in the village, and there are major clean water issues associated with it as well. I ask that you all consider all of us in the village begging that we work on sensible planning and affordable workforce housing, which Concern for Independent Living will not provide. Thank you again to our wonderful town board. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right, well, if that's all for the comments, then I move to close the public portion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, let's proceed with the resolution.
Do you want to take any of these out of order?
Do you want to take the mill pause? Permission to take the resolution 2024-763 out of order. What page are you on? Page 37.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This is my resolution with respect to the restriction on Flying Point from Flying Point Road on Steinman Court, co-sponsored with my colleague Councilman Pell. Thank you. So if I may, just before we vote on this, can I make a correction and just with respect to the title? Instead of it saying resolution of adoption restricting turns, can I just say resolution amending? Can I make that change? Do I have to make a motion to change that?
You have to make a motion, yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion to amend the title.
Second.
To add the word, to
Replace adoption
of
with
adoption
resolution
with
amending. And I had a conversation.
All in favor?
Oh, yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
On the change.
Who's it? I'm sorry. Who's the second on the amendment?
I was.
Thank you.
And the reason why I'm making that is because it is an amendment. This is not adopting. This is an existing restriction. We're just changing the time frame of the turn restriction. And I think that the title might have added to the confusion among some folks.
If you want to read the title and have it seconded, then we can have the discussion on the motion.
Town Board Resolution 2024-763 as amended, resolution amending restricting turns from Flying Point Road onto Diamond Court during certain times.
Second.
Discussion?
Who's the second on the discussion?
Bill seconded it.
Second.
Again, okay.
So, motion to approve?
No, can we have a discussion?
Oh, sure.
So I have actually, I believe you're all gonna get this anyway because I've been the lone vote against it. But if you know me, you know that when I have convictions, I stand firmly behind them. I wanna read a statement that we received from the chair of the Watermill CAC because she actually summed up almost better than I could have why I haven't supported this. She stated, when a resolution was originally introduced to limit turns onto Diamond Court, Mill Farm Lane, there was pushback from people living on Cobb Road and Little Cobb Road who felt that some residents in Watermill were getting preferential treatment over others in regards to commuter traffic using their roads as a bypass. Moving forward almost 10 years, the town board heard similar complaints at the May 28th public hearing. I had mentioned at the first traffic mitigation and safety meeting when this issue was raised that I was concerned about closing off certain public roads to commuter traffic, and I questioned how taxpayers would feel about highway and police resources being used to enforce those closures. Although I am writing this as a resident, as chair of the CAC in Watermill, I have often been asked to support closures on certain roads, particularly Cobb, Little Cobb, Upper Seven Ponds, and Old Mill. I have always taken the position that as residents, we all have to share the burden of traffic on the back roads, and it's impossible to justify one closure over another. I recognize that the closure of Diamond Court is an extension of a pre-existing regulation, but it also raises the question of whether a traffic officer should be assigned to monitor a road that, when you look at the DOT traffic numbers, doesn't even warrant being a road that is studied. I appreciate that residents are upset that their road is being used as a bypass. It shouldn't be. And they have to wait to get out of their driveways, or they can't walk on their road like they used to. Every resident living on the back roads has experienced the exact same situation and has the exact same complaint. But unlike most residents living on the back roads, the residents on Mill Farm Road could realistically look at taking steps to privatize their road. They could close off the entrance at Diamond Court for as long as they want, control who has access on their road, and thereby relieve the burden of the police to monitor that road so they can deal with more serious traffic issues that occur daily during the commuter rush hour. I would also like to clarify some information presented at the public hearing as precedent for extending the hours of this closure. Halsey Lane in Watermill has no left turns off Route 27 heading west because of safety, specifically the dangers of crossing oncoming traffic at that location. Likewise, the no left turn off of Millstone onto Scuttle Hole was a result of a stop sign being removed directly east of the roundabout. As a result, the left turn off of Millstone onto Scuttle Hole was simply moved to the next road east, Geyer's Path. There is a similar no left turn on Scuttle Hole Strong Lane that was installed when the intersection at Heddapon and Scuttle Hole was upgraded. All of these changes had absolutely nothing to do with closing off a road to commuter traffic. As a resident of Heddapon Road, who often waits in their driveway for someone kind enough to let me in the long line of traffic, I appreciate the town board listening to residents and addressing their concerns. But I also think before more roads are closed and new traffic patterns are proposed, the town should provide an overview and strategic plan for all of the back roads that are currently being used as a bypass to the highway. I completely agree with Ms. Burnham. Without a comprehensive look at all roads, we shouldn't make changes that will affect others. Case in point, the cone program. While it was initially successful in flushing out the back roads, Waze and Google have now designated new routes to fill in the space that was created. The mayor of Quogue has had to post police in the village and on Dune Road to enforce speed limits. The Hampton-based school superintendent has requested we look at Fanning, Argonne, and Wakeman because the Dune Road route has diverted traffic into these heavily residential neighborhoods and locked up the high school zone.
Through the public hearing process for this restriction, I have been asked to look at, in Flanders, Pleasure Drive, Evergreen, Oak, Polk, Riverside, and East Street. In East Quogue, residents have requested we look at Old Country, Jones, and Squires. In Hampton Bays, Foster, Lighthouse, Dune Road, Fanning, Argonne, Wakeman, Ocean, Carter, Gravel Hill, Lynn Avenue, Old Riverhead Road, and Bittersweet South Extension. In North Sea, Henry Road, Scotts Road, and Harris Lane. In Watermill, Cobb, Little Cobb, Upper Seven Ponds, and Old Mill. We were also asked to enforce the existing restriction on shrubland, which we do not have the manpower to do on a daily basis, just as we will not have the manpower to enforce this restriction. The highway superintendent cannot continually close a road that isn't being worked on. It was my understanding that the Traffic Mitigation and Safety Task Force was to identify and study heavily trafficked corridors and then devise and issue a final report with findings to the town board. Changing traffic patterns after just the second meeting before that work is complete seems premature. I agree with Ms. Verno that as residents, we must all share the burden of traffic on the back roads, given the magnitude of the problem we are dealing with. Residents on Mill Farm have stated that they are entitled to the peaceful enjoyment of their neighborhood, and while I don't disagree with them, it can't come at the expense of other neighborhoods. As a commuter with a husband in the trades, I know that shutting down roads is just going to shuffle the problem, not solve it. Relief for some cannot be had at the expense of many. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. So let me just get at a couple of those things. First and foremost, Rachel is more than welcome to email me and continue to engage. I know that she attended our traffic mitigation task force meetings. She is more than welcome to email me with some specific requests of having our highway department, who, by the way, has an engineer that they contract with that look a lot at all of these things. This didn't just happen where it came to me and I said, let me do it. I spoke to the highway department. Highway department has engineers. I spoke with the town police chief. Town police chief said it would be fine. This is not something that just came out of thin air. I have received plenty of emails from this community. I've received phone calls from this community about the need for something to be done. Originally, this resolution, I'm repeating myself from the last public hearing, but I will do so just for the public's edification. This resolution was bigger. We were also going to reduce the speed limit. Councilwoman, you said that you wouldn't support the measure with the reduction of the speed limit because it would require a study and we'd have to spend money for that study. So I said, okay, I'll look at reducing that. I looked at reducing it, reducing the resolution and what it was doing, and instead we just have the no-turn restriction. We have plenty of no-turn restrictions. It's not a closure. I mean, it's a closure for a certain period of time, but that's misleading the public in demonstrating what this regulatory scheme is actually doing. Is protecting people. It's keeping people safe. And you know what? Not everybody's going to follow the law, but the reality is people need to know what the regulation is. And if they commit a crime, they commit a crime. Did you vote, Councilwoman, to approve the no parking signs at Wildwood in Flanders?
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did.
You weren't
giving but we don't have, one of the concerns was enforcement that you publicly stated. I'm concerned about enforcement, but the signs we'll put through because we should, right? It's the same logic here. We might not have exactly what we need in place, but we need to show and demonstrate to the public.
We have no parking restrictions at all of our beaches.
I didn't interrupt you.
I'm just saying, we have no parking restrictions. It's not the same thing. This is the second
But I let you
closure
speak.
in the
You're
town for
interrupting me,
commuter
Councilwoman.
traffic. I'm sorry, but it's.
But I let you speak and I let you read the
Go
statement
ahead.
from Ms. Verno.
Go ahead.
I think that we need to be honest with ourselves and we need to recognize that there are steps that we can take. And this is a simple step. In the last public hearing, I went through a number of examples where we have no turn restrictions put in place by previous town board members. This is just one action based on requests from the community. These folks expect us to do the work of government. And that is what I'm here to do. I don't expect to agree with you on everything, but quite frankly, this is not something that is controversial. You know, we have a very big vote ahead of us with respect to Liberty Gardens. This is not something I want to have occupy our time right now because there are big things ahead of us. And I hope that we could put politics aside in the future to
This has
actually
nothing to do with
do
politics.
the work
And
of
to even
constituent
say that this
services.
has anything to do with politics is complete nonsense.
Well, I don't know.
This has to do
These-
with all the other turn restrictions that you brought up that are in the town are not for commuter traffic. They are
There are
for
plenty.
completely different reasons. This will be the second restriction in the town that is expanded for commuter traffic. It will be the longest turning restriction in the town.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. And until you can talk to all of those people, I really hope that the traffic task force will look at all of the roads that people have asked for no turn restrictions on and take those as seriously as you took this one. Because those people are working and they've asked me to come forward and ask, they can't come to a traffic mitigation task force meeting in the afternoon. They're working, their roads are shut down. We had the superintendent of the high school, and I'm sorry, but in my opinion, that takes precedence when you're talking about a school zone. Nothing has been done about that. And if this is so easy to put restrictions in place, then why hasn't the high school been looked at?
Well, I haven't been council person and liaison to Hampton Bays for the last 4 years. You have. I've just
And this
got.
hasn't become a
in all
problem
fairness,
until this
in
year.
all, in all fairness, Councilwoman, I just got elected and I'm trying to do my job. In fact, after we had this conversation, the people in Hampton Bays did actually reach out to me. We have a site visit scheduled on Wakeman Road as per the superintendent's recommendation. I look forward to trying to find a solution in Hampton Bays, and quite frankly, we've been working on solutions in Hampton Bays. We were able to put forth and bring back the cone program. We just got the blinking yellow light back on Hill Street. I work to bring people together, all of our agencies, all of our governmental partners, to try to get that back up and running. There's a lot of different moving parts in government. You know that.
The blinking light program has been happening for 2 years.
Correct. And it requires council people to try and mobilize the resources. Mayor Menger of the Southampton Village, just in case everybody's curious, asked if that's going to come back up and running. I said it was a great program. It helped a lot of people, especially Hampton Bays workers and Shinnecock Nation tribal members who work in the village and around the village to get back west to Hampton Bays or somewhere else, Shinnecock Hills. It's a well-traveled corridor. That blinking light program was very helpful to a lot of those commuters. So we work to do that. I'm not arguing with you that other parts of the town need attention. Certainly they do. That was the motivating factor in establishing the Traffic Mitigation and Safety Task Force, so that we could hear from the public of where those problem roads exist, and we could take action. Yes, we have to write a report, but I've also heard from a lot of people that the town doesn't need another study, we need action. So yes, we are going to write a report, we are going to issue findings, but where we can take action, we will take action.
Well, I just want to point out, because you put in a dig there about me being the liaison Hampton Bays for the last few years, the problem around the high school wasn't a problem until this year. The cone program actually flushed the traffic out of the neighborhoods, so the traffic didn't get gridlocked. And I did work with the superintendent last year to get that program running earlier before school started, because it kept traffic flowing in front of the school. The cone program has now formed another problem in that more commuters are using it. Just as with this closure, when that traffic backs up and they can't take the cut through Diamond and Mill Farm, they are going to go down David White's and they are going to cut through the back way. It's going to put this problem somewhere else, and that is all I am trying to say.
This is what I think we should do. Councilwoman McNamara, you have a list, because you've been in communication with people these past couple of years. So why don't you provide the full list of everyone who's reached out for those requests, and then we'll get them to Michael for the Traffic Mitigation and Safety Task Force, so that everybody's road can get looked at.
I would like for all of these, what I'm getting at is, I would like for all of these roads to be looked at comprehensively and not just restrict some and not others. I think the entire infrastructure has to be looked at, and it has to be done cohesively. And that is why I supported the Traffic and Mitigation Task Force, because it was supposed to look at heavily trafficked corridors, and we were supposed to, at the end of 6 months, have a plan in place. And if this came as a result of that, I would have probably no problem with it, because there would be a report that said, listen, we looked at this area, we studied this, we know what's going to happen, we looked at all the other areas, and these are who we can provide relief to, and this is the areas that I'm sorry we can't. But at least it be done in a comprehensive way.
I'm all in favor of that. But if people are coming to us asking for an extension of an existing restriction that the highway department says works, why don't we do it?
And the residents today said it doesn't work. Nobody pays attention.
Can I interrupt you two?
Go ahead, Bill.
Let's vote.
Go ahead.
Well,
It's
yeah.
gonna pass.
Motion to approve.
I'll,
Yeah,
all
you
right,
can't talk from there.
um,
You have to talk from up there.
Yeah, I agree. We need to take a comprehensive look at everything. We're going to issue the report. I mean, I'll support this because it is an extension of the time, and there seems to be a very important need, and the superintendent of the highways is in favor of it, but I liked his suggestion about the traffic circle, and there's a lot we can do, so let's look at everything that we can in the context of traffic.
Yes.
So, but for now, let's take this vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 No.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Thank
for
you.
Spirited discussion. All right, let's go. Back to the first town board resolution. I don't want to do that.
Just people waiting for that too, and I think it's just rude to not do that.
You don't want to? Whatever you want.
Yeah. Well, I think. Yeah. We'll get through it. We could get through this quickly. Why don't we just get going? Councilman Scavone, you want to get us started on the resolutions?
Oh. Thought there was discussion there, sorry.
I mean, can we take it out of order?
Town Board Resolution 2024-573. With the permission, or Councilman Uselli, I move that we withdraw this until the work that needs to be done gets done, and then we'll put it forward again. So 573 of 2024 is withdrawn.
Okay. Town Board Resolution 2024-732 to authorize purchases of fuel management, EV, and GPS solutions from EJ Ward, Inc., using a Sourcewell contract.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-733 to authorize purchases of furniture, all types except hospital room and patient handling from the New York State contracts.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 734 of 2024, co-sponsored Councilman Scavone, authorize supervisor to sign a contract with LaGuardia Design Group for landscape to provide design, development drawings, and construction documents for 1517 Old Country Road and 511 Cobb Road, Watermill.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Town Board Resolution 735 of 2024 to authorize the supervisor to sign an indemnification and hold harmless agreement between the town of Southampton and the United States Coast Guard.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. That's for their change of command ceremony. Town Board Resolution 736 of 2024, co-sponsored with Councilmember Uselli, to authorize the supervisors to sign a contract with Nelson Pope Engineering, Architecture and Land Surveying, PLLC, to provide architectural and engineering design services for the Pirates Concert, Homestead, and Cottage.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-737, co-sponsored with Councilmember Iacilli, to authorize the supervisor to sign a contract with the Rayner Group, PE and LS PLLC, to provide professional services related to the engineering design of the new sanitary systems at the Southampton Animal Shelter.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-738, authorizing the purchase of a steel pavilion and installation services at North Sea Community Park for a Sourcewell contract with Portacorp.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 739 of 2024, co-sponsored Councilman Scavone, authorize the purchase of Chevrolet Silverado from New York State OGS contract with G&H Auto Group, CBA Mohawk Chevrolet for vehicles class 1 through 8 statewide.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 740 of 2024, co-sponsored Councilman Scavone,
Authorize the purchase of Ford F-350 from New York State OGS contract with Nielsen Ford of Morristown, Inc. for vehicles class 1 through 8 statewide.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Town Board Resolution 741 of 2024, co-sponsored by the entire board. Authorize the supervisor to sign an agreement with Hampton's Production House LLC for the preparation of a video to highlight the accomplishments of the community preservation program.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 742 of 2024, co-sponsored with Councilman Schiavone. Recall and amend Resolution 2023-1276, authorize supervisor to sign a contract extension for maintenance, installation, repair of water mains with Roadwork Construction Corp.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-743, recall and amend Resolution number 2024-581, authorizing purchases of Hustler Landscaping and Grounds Maintenance from All Island Equipment Corp. Using Sourcewell contract.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Town Board Resolution 744 of 2024, recall and amend Town Board Resolution 2024-255 to authorize the supervisor to execute agreement with Sun TV, vendors, and production assistants.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 745 of 2024, resolution authorizing the Parks Director to enter into an interim agreement for mobile concessions pursuant to Town Code 111-7B2 for 2024 season at Mecox Beach and W. Scott Cameron Beach.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 746 of 2024, co-sponsored with Councilman Schiavone. Reject all bids for Sierra 1500 four-wheel drive crew elevation.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Town Board Resolution 747 of 2024, co-sponsored with Councilman Iacilli. 2024 notice to bidders for Mercedes-Benz Sprinter cargo van rebid.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-748, the 2024 notice to bidders for the Town Hall sanitary system replacement.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-749, co-sponsor with Schiavone, Moore, and Isola. Notice to propose the professional engineer design service for the watermill first passage.
Second.
Did you want to get on
Yeah,
that? You
Cindy,
were-
could you add me to that, please?
The whole board.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-750, co-sponsored with Councilman Schiavone, to accept the December 31st, 2023 Community Preservation Fund audit from Cullen and Danowski LLP for the town of Southampton, and to authorize the town clerk to publish notice of the Community Preservation Fund financial statements and independent auditor's report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-751, to accept the 2023 audited financial statements from Naraki Smith LLP for the town of Southampton, and to authorize the town clerk to publish notice of the 2023 financial report.
Second.
All in favor? And
Aye.
those were excellent financial reports, by the way. Town Board Resolution 2024-752, to accept reimbursement for insurance recoveries and amend the 2024 adopted budget for the Highway Department.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 753 of 2024, amend 2024 Town Board fee schedule for Division of Code Enforcement rental permits.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-754, to amend the 2024 adopted budget for building and zoning consultant services.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
What?
Supposed to find out if something was underlined. Is something underlined? in the code enforcement fee schedule?
I asked about that. They said the entire section is new, so it's deemed underlined.
And I'm sorry, I
Thank you
couldn't
for
hear the
bringing
second
that
on
up.
the last one.
Excuse me?
Who was the second on 754?
I think I was.
Thank you.
All in favor? Thanks for
Aye.
following up on that,
Aye.
though, Janice.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Um,
That was 754 that we just spoke of.
Yes.
Town
Okay.
Board Resolution 2024-755, co-sponsored by Councilwoman McNamara, to authorize the supervisor to execute a contract amendment with Edward Wolfersdorf to assist with the review and backlog building department permit plans in the Department of Land Management.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-756 to recall and amend Town Board Resolution 2024-699 for park improvement capital projects.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And Town Board Resolution 2024-757 to accept the resignation of Michelle Lemoyle Gray from the Ethics Board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-758 to accept the resignation of Thakor George Mutu from the Planning Board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 759 of 2024, disband the Licensing Review Board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-760, authorize Enforcement Act on 398 County Road 39, Tuckahoe, New York, Suffolk County Tax Map 900.158.3.6.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-761, authorize Enforcement Act on 419 County Road 39, Tuckahoe, New York, Suffolk County Tax Map 900.158.1.34.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-762, authorize Enforcement Act at County Road 39, Tuckahoe, New York, Suffolk County Tax Map 900.158.1.33.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We did 763, 764, 2024, on page 39. Co-sponsored Councilmember Uselli, it's 2024/2025 home sale price and rental formula multipliers for units reserved for income-eligible households.
Did we want to table this until we have a work session, or?
That's what I thought Tara was
Yeah,
gonna, I didn't know if she was gonna come today. Actually.
She is scheduled for a work session this week, so I'll make a motion to table
Second.
764 till June 25th.
Thank you, Councilman. All in favor?
Aye. Okay, Town Board Resolution 765 of 2024, co-sponsor with Councilwoman McNamara, release the performance bond in connection with Spion Commons.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-766 to accept the demolition bond in connection with the demolition of an existing dwelling located at 7 Red Creek Park, Hampton Bays.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-767, setting forth the 2024 part-time salaries.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-768 to accept the resignation of Bruce Hubbard from the Maintenance Mechanic 4 position in the Parks and Recreation Department.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-769 to accept the resignation of Susan Ralph, Lieutenant in the town. What did I say?
Resignation.
Oh, retirement of Susan Ralph, Lieutenant in the Town Police Department.
Second.
Second.
All
I
in
just, on the
favor?
motion, I just want to say that Sue did an incredible job with our civilian academy and our youth academy and working with our kids. She made a big difference with the youth of our community. So I just want to thank her for that.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, Lieutenant Ralph, she certainly did elevate the position and worked with our community well, so we thank her for her service.
She's been with the department for 22 years, started as a patrol officer, became a detective, then a sergeant, and then most recently, the first female lieutenant for the Southampton Town Police Department. She oversaw the radio room, conducted training of field officers, and as you both mentioned, was greatly involved with the community, with the Shop with a Cop program, and the Coffee with a Cop, and the Youth Academy, and the Wellness program. So she will certainly be missed by the department, and we wish her well in her future endeavors. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-770, co-sponsored by Councilman Pell, to appoint Charlotte Dickinson to the office assistant position from the civil service list.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-771, co-sponsored by council members Scavone and Pell.
Could I be added as well, please?
You could add me too.
Co-sponsored by the entire board to appoint John Rankin to Chief Fire Marshal position from the Civil Service list.
Second.
Congratulations.
John. He's already been doing it.
I know. Now it's official. All in favor?
Aye.
Very, very
Who's-
impressive
who's the second?
individual in that job.
Me. Actually, a couple of us, but I think I'm closest to you.
Okay, then I'm gonna write you can.
And the whole
If you're
board,
asking.
the whole
I am.
board
Thank you.
co-sponsored that Sunday.
Yeah.
I've got that.
And second.
Thank you.
Town Board Resolution 2024-772 to appoint Vanessa Romano to Office Assistant in Municipal Works.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Town Board Resolution 773 of 2024. This is for attendance at the Drug Recognition Expert Certification Training in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, from June 23rd to June 29th of 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 774 of 2024, co-sponsored with Councilman Pell. Notice of public hearing to consider a local law enacting Chapter 316A, Abandoned Vessels, which creates procedures for the handling of abandoned vessels.
Second.
All in favor? And
Aye.
Aye.
Actually, we have one in Hampton, one in West Hampton's been there for over a month now.
Yeah. Thank you both for bringing this forward.
Thank you, and I'll be added as a co-sponsor to that.
Got it.
Town Board Resolution 775 of 2024. Sorry. Supervisor, excuse.
Is this one? Okay.
It is.
Town Board Resolution 2024-775, co-sponsored by council members Scavone, McNamara, and Iacilli.
You can add me too.
And
Sunday,
Pell,
please.
the entire board. Notice of public hearing to consider the acquisition of 1065 Millstone Road in the hamlet of Noyak, New York, and to amend the CPF management and stewardship plan to include the property.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Town Board Resolution 776 of 2024. Notice of public hearing to consider the acquisition of 21 Deer Run, also known as 1451 Deerfield Road, in the hamlet of Watermill, New York.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Town Board Resolution 777 of 2024. This is a notice of public hearing to consider historic landmark designation of the structure recognized as Grosvenor Atterbury Estate House, located on 520 Montauk Highway, Shinnecock Hill, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-233-1-23.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-778, notice of public hearing for the adoption of an updated pattern book for the hamlet of Hampton Bays.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Town Board Resolution 779 of 2024. Notice of public hearing to accept trail viewshed and conservation easements relative to a site plan wetlands permit for Atlantic Golf Club in the hamlet of Bridgehampton.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sunday, I'm an abstention.
Town Board Resolution 780 of 2024, co-sponsored with Councilwoman McNamara. Acceptance of a conservation easement in connection with the old field map of Ocean View Park Map 105, Section 4.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-781, road review application for Fisher Organization LLC, Suffolk County Tax Map number 0900-149.00-02.00-040.003, situated at Flanders, is accepted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-782, another road review application for the Joseph G. Farrell III Irrevocable Trust, Suffolk County Tax Map number 0900-026.00-01.00-037.000, situate at Sag Harbor, is accepted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can we have the walk on? Town Board Resolution ID number 46498 to authorize the town attorney to accept settlement from State Farm Insurance Company for damage to Town Highway Department vehicle.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution ID number 46620 to authorize the supervisor and/or town attorney to sign a release and supporting documentation from McNeil and Company for repairs done to a 2022 Ford Police Interceptor.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution ID number 46683 to appoint John Reben to the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Second.
Second.
And I'll be added as a co-sponsor as well.
Myself too, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations, John, and welcome. Town Board Resolution ID number 46687 to authorize the supervisor to sign a contract with L.K. McLean Associates Engineering and Surveying, DPC, to provide professional services for Riverside Maritime Park, accessible kayak launch and fishing pier in Riverside.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It would be so nice to move
Yes.
along with the
Yeah.
next step of that project.
Mhm.
Town Board Resolution ID number 46705 for warrant number 11, capital number 11, CPF number 11, dated June 11, 2024.
A lot of 11s.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution ID 46706, resolution extending all home improvement contractor licenses to August 1st, 2024.
Second.
On the motion, this is simply being put in place because with getting rid of the License Review Board and putting everything online, there's kind of a lag with making sure that the process is accessible and it works. So I just want to make sure that everybody remains licensed until such time as they can get online and get it done.
And the Public Safety Committee, now they know that they're
Handling appeals.
handling appeals. Yeah, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And last number, Town Board Resolution ID number 46708 to adopt the secret findings in connection with the zone change application entitled Liberty Gardens, parenthetical, formerly known as Concern for Independent Living, close parens, Southampton, and to deny the zone change.
Could I ask the sponsor to consider tabling this to June 25th so we can actually read the finding statement?
I read it.
I second.
It's not a big document.
I second the motion on the supervisor's motion.
Okay.
Thank you, Bill. I'd prefer not to, Councilman.
Okay.
So I'm sure we all have our remarks they want to make. I'll just say that for me, this is, the location has always been problematic in terms of the ingress and egress onto the property. And some of us met with the applicant to propose alternative locations, but they were not deemed workable for them. I also don't believe the applicant has satisfied or resolved the wastewater treatment issue. I don't think it was ripe for consideration. So there are very detailed details in the finding statement, and I support the adoption of the secret finding and the denial of the zone change application for those reasons.
They had 7 years to secure a waste management sewer system, which they did not, and I failed that as a fireman in fire police, that I was up there enough with traffic. It's a good idea, but it's in the wrong place. That's why I support the supervisor in denying this change.
Councilwoman McNamara, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Councilman Isolican, go ahead.
So, there's no doubt that our community faces significant challenges. At the top of the list is, of course, a lack of affordable housing. We, I believe, are at an inflection point where we need to be all hands on deck with respect to housing. The U.S. Census notes that median household income was $119,000 in Southampton. Realtor.com notes that the median listing home price in Southampton is over $3 million. Since then, these trends that we've observed, we as a town have collectively made progress in addressing how we can increase the availability of affordable units without necessarily impacting our conservationist approach to the environment. I'd like to remind the public that we had passed a couple of years ago the Community Housing Fund, which has enabled the town to become one of the most progressive municipalities with respect to affordable housing. And since the passage of the CHF, our town has been able to embark on a number of projects this year alone. We've also solidified our CHF municipal plan, which outlines key programs such as our ADU program, our down payment assistance program, and other unique mechanisms that ensure affordability in home ownership and rentals. For instance, we have created a specific program for the workforce, seniors, the special needs community. We have also an affordable easement program in the law that encourages developers to construct units that are affordable in perpetuity. The total expenses projected for these projects are over $25 million. Last year, the Community Housing Fund for 2023 generated over $7 million to be allocated toward the projects, and that number is only climbing. Likewise, with our partnership underway with CDLI, we've secured approximately $4 million in state funds for our ADU Plus program. This is just the tip of the iceberg, and I, like many of my colleagues, are supportive of these efforts. If we can continue on this path, we can certainly make an enormous difference in the town for working people. The point of why I'm saying all of this is to demonstrate that this town board has been working on affordable housing. We have been serious about affordable housing, and we will continue to be. That said, and another point to what I am saying here, is that Liberty Gardens is not all-encompassing. As many of you know, our region faces a significant water quality crisis, and all of our development aspirations must be balanced and well thought out. Last year, there was a political fight that occurred at the county level on the Clean Water Plan that would allocate funding for sewer upgrades and IAs across the region. This was a significant fight in our community. And water quality has really become a paramount issue, as we here in Southampton are a coastal community. Luckily, this new county legislature and county executive came to an agreement with the legislature on moving forward on the Suffolk County Water Quality and Restoration Act, which was convened by our partners on the state level. That is why when reviewing this the final EIS, I grew concerned that not enough has been done to adequately address a wastewater management system as it pertains to this plan. At the end of December of last year, the previous town board, at the behest of then supervisor, rushed through the final EIS adoption without enough contemplation on the adequacy of the wastewater treatment plan, as well as a number of other updates included in the EIS. In a letter dated August 29, 2022, the Public Works Project Supervisor with Suffolk County requested formal approval of an application to the Suffolk County Sewer Agency to meet New York State DEC standards in SECRA. What concern provided was a non-binding letter with Hampton Rehab and Nursing Center to accommodate additional flow. From my vantage point, this is putting the cart before the horse. And more needed to really be done to identify a stronger contingency as it pertains to wastewater treatment. According to the findings, this non-finalized agreement will likely have an adverse impact on drinking water sources, given the close proximity to Suffolk County Water Authority wellfield. The proposed density as per the draft EIS required that the construction of a new wastewater treatment facility. That was not met in the final EIS. The proposed action may include or require wastewater discharge to groundwater. That was not properly addressed in the final EIS. The proposed action will result in the clearing of 86% of the natural vegetation on site. Last year alone, just so that we could put this into perspective, to address wastewater treatment upgrades and habitat restoration, the town passed a bill, Resolution 2023-1216, moving funding amounting over $10 million to water quality improvement money. While it pains me to exercise greater rumination on this aspect rather than on housing, I believe that as a town board, we were elected to ensure that the process is fair and equitable in all aspects of SECRA. Traffic-wise, the findings indicate significant challenges for first responders. Increasing traffic data on CR 39 also lends to challenges with the build-out of the project and likely added interruption. Everyone should know that I did my due diligence and visited a concerned site in Brookhaven Town. It was a beautifully constructed development, and the people who I met there were wonderful individuals looking to restart their lives or move ahead. But I am still struggling over the fact that what I saw at the other location does not offer the same facts and circumstances as here. County Road 39 is not Route 112. A change of zone of this magnitude must reflect upon our comprehensive plan and the impact to our natural resources. And the fact is that this plan falls short in conforming to the comprehensive plan. My hope is that we can continue to work with concern, the organization, to keep looking at other potential possibilities where it warrants multifamily housing. Let's consider alternative sites that make sense. Because of the imperative that exists to move ahead on affordable housing, I want to see something like this go ahead. However, because of the significant concerns pertaining to SECRA and the overall environmental impacts cited by the findings report that we are here adopting, as well as the non-binding letter for the sewer, it is just too abundantly incomplete. Likewise, throughout this process, our board has engaged commentary that alludes to lawsuits. That troubles me. This is a new board. We want to look at these issues comprehensively and objectively. And so I find this approach, the threat of lawsuits, to be corrosive to the stability of our local processes. Fear politics in any of its forms and in all places that it originates is not productive.
I'm actually very brief, which is not like me. Having pointed out the deficiencies in the DEIS and the FEIS, I am happy to say that the findings are as they should be and come to the only conclusion one can make based on the facts. This is not an appropriate location for this project. As the daughter and granddaughter of veterans, as well as the liaison to our Veterans Affairs Committee, I struggled with the question, how do you say no to housing for veterans? I reached out to the head of a local veterans group, whom I respect greatly, and asked him why he and other local veterans hadn't been vocally supportive of this project. This is what he told me. Early on in the proposal for this project, the principals reached out to me to advocate for this project. I asked some questions about the project, and they never got back to me, as I guess they knew I did not fit into the narrative that they wanted at the microphone. I am all about veterans and will advocate for what is right for them and my community. This is not about veterans. This is about money. We are tasked with looking at the facts and determining if this project is right for this location. That's it. Who the project is for shouldn't even enter into the equation. But the applicant has made that the focal point, knowing it's really hard to say no to our nation's heroes. The findings as prepared take out the who and focus on the why, as they should. I'm not saying no to housing for veterans. I'm saying no to a project that doesn't fit in the proposed location.
As for me, the town of Southampton is in a housing crisis. I don't think anybody disputes that. In fact, there were many people that came to the podium and said that very thing. We need affordable housing. And then it was followed with the conjunction, but. And then they would go on. We have passed our community housing fund, and as Councilmember Uselli said, we have a number of programs for affordable housing. We have first-time homebuyer assistance. We have a +1 program for our ADUs, among other things. We are working on easements for disability easements and affordability. So we are working on affordable housing initiatives. This particular one came to us by our invitation when I was early in my career in 2018, in January. We invited Concern here to the town of Southampton. Our director of housing at that time invited them here. This is a mixed income, supportive, affordable living development, and it would be located behind the Full Gospel Church. It is 50 affordable units, 25 for workforce housing, another 25 for supportive for veterans. We currently have about 2,900 veterans in the town of Southampton. About 50 of them are actually on our housing waiting list. I've supported this from the beginning. 2018, we asked them to come in. 2019, in February, we had public hearings with the applicant for their pre-submission. We asked them to change the entrances at Hillcrest and Seasons. They did so. In fact, the applicant has done everything that the town has asked them. They did gain an agreement with a neighboring facility that does have room on their sewage system. That is approved by the Suffolk County Health Department. They have done all of these things. We have had a number of public hearings with this applicant, and I supported it then. I supported the elect to consider, and I support it now. Two takeaways that I would like for you all to take from my comments here. Number one, I do absolutely support local government's jurisdiction to control these matters, 100%, and I always will. This is a determination by villages and towns through their local zoning. Number two, everybody should know I am unapologetically in support of veterans. So for that reason, I will be the dissenting vote on this proposal.
Thank you. Does anyone else have anything they want to add to that? All right, so let's take the vote. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed?
Nay.
All right, thank you. Well, we're going to now, I move to adjourn the meeting. We need to go into executive session for the purpose of some confidential legal advice, and then we'll close.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.